All right, welcome to the Robert Show. We are here at Qlik Connect, and look who I have with me again. Sam, welcome to the Robert Show again. Such a
Thanks.
pleasure to have you back on the Robert Show. I know we met at AWS, and today we are back at Qlik Connect. I'm super excited because there were some amazing announcements made today morning at the keynote. I'm excited to get into it, but just for audience, would you like to quickly introduce yourself? Tell us
Sure.
more about what you do at Qlik,
Yeah.
and then we can get into the
Love
announcements.
it. Yeah, great to be with you again. Yeah, so I'm Sam Pierson, and I oversee the R&D teams for the data side of the house at Qlik. So this is
Right.
all of our data integration, data governance, data quality, replication, all of that.
Yep.
So all of those engineering teams I look after.
That's fantastic. Sam, quick question around the announcements. Open Lakehouse was announced today morning. I was closely following it. A lot of stuff in the agentic space as well. Would you like to share a little bit about what the announcement was?
Yeah.
How does it help the larger community out there? Iceberg community, I'm pretty sure they're super excited.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about
no,
it.
I mean, this has been, I don't know, we look at these things every year, right? We kind of plan around the major events, reInvent, things like that. This is no exception. And so it's been I think a lot of pent up sort of, being anxious to get this stuff
Right,
out and get it in
right.
front of our users. I think the biggest things that we're talking about this year, obviously the open lakehouse is a concept that we are embracing. We talked a little bit, at reInvent about Iceberg and everything that's come along
Exactly.
there. Even more has happened in the last few months. And then also, I think on the AI side, agentic AI, the data product space as well,
Yes.
more integration
Yes.
with Talend Studio.
Yeah.
So those just a handful of the things that we've shipped this year that we can't wait to get users using.
Yeah, that's what I could see the excitement because I was talking to a few enterprise leaders after the keynote, a few community members, and they were like, we're definitely super excited with all the announcements. I think the GA is going to happen for the agentic AI around July.
Yeah.
So they were like, we can't wait, and we're going to go out and sign up for the early access. So I've been following Qlik's journey quite for a while, I think now. So my question is, when it comes to AI, it still remains on the street, and customers are talking about it, enterprise leaders are talking about it, but the important part is the data foundation, and that is still a big question. Where, how good of a data foundation should we have to run AI or implement AI in our
Yeah.
systems? What are you hearing from customers?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a lot of the same thing that you're hearing from leaders, right? Like,
Right.
AI is something that everybody is investing in. Everybody has to have a plan, and the research that our team has done and what we're hearing from analysts is like everybody has some sort of a strategy. They have policies that they're putting in place, but like it's the exception that people actually have this stuff running into production.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing where I think we're to some extent we're still early in the ball game on this.
Right.
But I think it's just been such a great time to be a builder because lots of creativity, lots of new experiences that we can
Exactly.
build for users. I think back to the data foundation part of this. It is probably the biggest impediment to successful adoption because again, like these models, they're trained on the open internet, they're super useful for a lot of things, but what enterprises have is they have all of their proprietary data, and it's the same challenge that they had way back when, right, when they were trying to do machine learning models or they're trying to do Hadoop clusters.
Right.
It's like, okay, we got to have a data strategy, and I think like people have learned that lesson. And so now I think more than ever, these are things where people have really had to sit down from first principles to think about their data strategy. Governance and security is another thing. And so people are evolving what they're doing today, but it definitely is creating a large tailwind for us in terms of just conversations and inquiries from our customers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Those are great insights that you're sharing, Sam. I also have like a curious question because we met at AWS reInvent, and I remember we asked your thoughts about the forecast for 2025, and you mentioned adoption of Iceberg at Qlik, and also the announcement today about Qlik Open Lakehouse. Can you tell us more about it? How did that happen?
Yeah.
It's been like almost, I guess, 4 months now.
Yeah.
Since this was in the making, but obviously it was making in the
Yeah.
long run. But I also know for a fact where you all acquired Absolver, and they were a lot into obviously Iceberg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of wanting to know a little bit
Well,
more.
look, I think there's tons of stuff on this one. I think number one, being able to bring this real-time streaming capability into Qlik Talend Cloud
Right.
is something that we felt was a gap, and we were looking for different ways that
Yep.
we can address that, right? And so this was, I think, a great fit. I think the other thing is just the performance characteristics that you get out of it, right? It's millions of events per second, even not in aggregate, right? But like single customer, millions of events per second, moving a petabyte of data a month. It brings a different scale, right?
Exactly.
I think like the other, some of the other things about it, right, are, Talend originally, right, came from an open source background.
Right.
It's something that we feel passionate about supporting.
Exactly.
And I think it's like at the end of the day, it's much better for our users to have, this openness, right? And so
Openness,
talking
cool.
about this open Lakehouse concept, bringing together the best of the data warehouse plus, the data lakes, and giving you the flexibility, right? And so
True.
lots of different attributes now that we can tune in terms of managing performance, managing costs, and really like putting those tools in the hands of the engineers is the mission there.
It's fantastic, and congratulations on obviously putting this together and great announcements that were made. One more quick question, because you mentioned about Talend Cloud. What is the combination of Qlik Talend Cloud and Open, Lakehouse helping customers to achieve? What's there for the customers?
So I think like there's a lot there, right? Because it's not just about, it's about the sources, right? Being able to read these things.
Right.
But then giving, if you saw the keynote this morning, right? Like you've got your pipelines are writing to different targets.
Yeah.
Right? And like giving granular choice there. I think the other thing around Iceberg has just been like the general decoupling of storage, compute, and metadata.
Right.
is opening up a lot of doors. And vendors are embracing it, right? And because it is something that customers are demanding.
So true.
And so, you'll see additional things coming this year.
Yeah.
Deeper
Yeah.
integration. This is something that really we are pursuing as a platform concern. And so, really plugging in Iceberg everywhere that it makes sense, looking at the use cases, looking at the value that it can bring to our customers.
Yeah.
All the way into the analytics business.
I'm pretty sure customers are super happy and they're already excited, because that's what I was also chatting with a few customers. I was interviewing them and they're like, this is like the new thing that we're looking forward to, and Qlik doesn't disappoint at all. Always they have some or the other thing we are always excited about. So that's great. One more quick question for you. How do you work with the analytics business unit leaders to ensure Qlik has a cohesive end-to-end data and analytics offering? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, when Talend was purchased by Qlik, right, and we came in and we joined the team, it was something where, like, I think at first we had to really get our feet, right, and you see that with Qlik Talend Cloud, right, of just enormous amount of features, full end-to-end platform now. I think at this stage, and what we've talked about and we've started to plan and build now over the last year, is like, how do we make that more seamless, right? So you think about Qlik as a platform, right? And trying to consolidate things, trying to make things easier, trimming the friction out of the user experience.
Exactly.
All of those things I think are part of it. And I mean, just fundamentally, again, like we talked about Iceberg, these are frameworks that we are adopting across the platform. And then maybe, last but certainly not least is the agentic framework, right? And so, that's something that sort of originated in the analytics business unit. We have a platform that we can plug into, and so as we started to hire engineers who are writing agents who can power the data side of the house, right? It's something that like they can plug directly into, and not have any issues, and then it's all part of the same experience, right? So if you're in the Qlik agent copilot, depending on what you're trying to do and the intent, you're able to drive that into the data experience and not just on the analytics side.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for sharing those insights, Sam. One more quick question that I have for you. I know I have a lot of questions, but then this one's for the community. If folks want to, go and try Open Lakehouse, when can they do that?
Yeah.
Is there an early access that they can get or something like that?
100%. So look, we're taking basically requests to join the program.
Nice.
That program will start in the coming weeks. We're ready to get that going. We wanted to launch and announce it today.
Okay.
So people can sign up. They can get on the program. The other thing I would say too is, Qlik.com has a lot of really great materials right now.
Exactly.
For people who are trying to learn about Iceberg and what it does for you and what it unlocks. Qlik.com got great content, even just Apache Iceberg 101,
Nice.
Lakehouse 101, even into some of the more advanced topics.
So it's more getting into the depth and all the educational material for the
Yeah.
the community as well. That's fantastic. I'll make sure to share the link with our audience as well,
Great.
so they can sign up. One last question, I promise.
Okay.
If folks want to reach out to you, follow you, where can they do that?
Yeah. LinkedIn is always a good option.
Awesome.
I'm on Twitter. Sam _Pierson.
Nice.
Great. More of a reader, but happy to chat with anybody.
Thanks. And Sam is always happy to chat, so y'all can reach out if y'all have any questions. He's a fantastic leader out there, been doing a lot for the community. Sam, once again, thanks for visiting the Ravit Show.
Hey,
Always
it was
such a
fantastic.
pleasure.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today.